I believe I was retaliated against due to my disability. I've already worked this job for a total of 8-9 years. One of the senior managers pretty much blew me off. I want the job. Having CP, I can't serve my country in a military aspect. This is the way that I serve my country. And I've already told them, and pardon my language, when all this got started, I said, they done pissed off the wrong and I'm going to make sure
This next caller just wants to do his job and serve his country, but he's being picked on for his disability. Enough of picking on the little guy. It's hardly legal time. Cousin Ittt, long time no see. What is going on, brother?
Well, everything's going okay. You know, I'm having a bad hair day, but with all the hair I've got, you can kind of understand that.
Yeah, for sure.
What's happening with you?
Besides the hair?
Well, let's see. I've got a legal matter that I'm pursuing with my company that I work for. I believe I was retaliated against due to my disability. And I've been asked by the EEOC to enter into mediation with the company that I'm in through the EEOC system. So I was needing to know, you know, kind of how does that work? And do I have anyone that from the EEOC that represents me during that time? Or am I kind of flying solo? You know, that kind of thing.
We're going to walk you through that. Let's talk about what happened on the job, okay? So if you don't mind, it is an anonymous call-in. Can you tell us what your condition is?
Cerebral palsy.
Okay. Sorry to hear that. How did it relate to work?
There are handicap parking spots in front of my office.
Okay.
And we have a lot of vehicles that are company owned. Where my office is secured by fences and everything else. So the vehicles that would be parking in those spots are company owned and so on and so forth. The management of my company pretty much refused to enforce those policies of handicap parking, even though they have the authority to do so, because it is a authority that can do such things.
Sure.
So every time that somebody parked there or anything like that, I would go in and talk to the management that I work with and things like that. And for a little while, they were trying to manage it and trying to make sure those spots stayed open. After a little while, they just basically told me, hey, look, you're going to have to park somewhere else. We don't have the ability and we don't have time to be watching these spots like that and keeping them open. If they park there, they park there. And it's not going to hurt you to walk another 30 feet or whatever to get to where you're going. So upon hearing that and upon getting kind of the cold shoulder, I decided to turn it into the ADA coordinator of the company that I work for.
Good.
The ADA coordinator of the company I work for approached the management that I work with and said, you will enforce this. This is something you're going to do. And he has validity to his concerns. Yeah. And you need to make sure this is done. Okay.
Excellent.
Well, once the ADA got involved, they started to enforce it a little bit better. Things weren't perfect, but you got to go with it. You know, you can't have everything just go 100% all the time. Things are going to go wrong.
But there was noticeable attempt to enforce it.
Right. Yes, there was a noticeable attempt to enforce it, and I was pretty well happy with that. Then after a few months, they started slacking off again, and things were going back to normal. I was getting the cold shoulder, you know. So I decided to go back to my senior management for this issue to kind of go back up the chain again to make sure that people were aware that, hey, this was going on. Give them another chance to make it right. They basically started giving me the cold shoulder again in front of other senior management that was above their pay grade. And at one point in time, one of the senior managers that gave me the cold shoulder pretty much blew me off in front of another higher authority senior manager. And they were pulled into the office and basically told, you will not blow him off again. And if you do, you're going to face repercussions. He came to you and you blew him off. You did it right in front of me. I saw you. I heard what you told him. It's not fair that he even has to come to you to have this happen. So wow. You're going to make it right. And I know this because I was pulled in by that same manager after they spoke to him and told me, if this happens again, you let us know. Don't even bother with the ADA coordinator. We're taking it up the chain. Okay.
Great.
So things have been pretty well until I decided to apply for a position that I already have.
Okay.
I've already worked this job for a total of 8-9 years. All it is going to day shift versus a night shift and working a Monday through Friday shift versus working a 4-on 4-off shift.
Sounds pretty simple. Yeah.
Simple enough. And I even already do the job for these people that this job entails while it's on night shift because no one's over there in this group on night shift. So I manage their schedules, I manage their overtime, manage their call offs, all that kind of stuff.
So it's the exact same job. Exact same job.
Right. Yes. So when I applied to do this, or I told them I wanted to go do this, they told me that I had to apply for it, which baffled me. I was like, I already do the job. Why can't I just lateral over there? They're like, no, we're not going to do that. So during the whole hiring process and whatever else, they have a person who could no longer stay qualified in the job they were in. And this is a senior management official. They couldn't stay in the job they were in because they couldn't pass the physical. They couldn't pass the qualifications that they needed to have to stay in the position.
I'm not going to be a dick here, but I just have to ask because I think
Yep.
our people watching at home. So you are suffering from cerebral palsy,
Yes.
and you can pass the physical, but this other person couldn't.
You don't have to have the physical requirements to do the job that I'm in.
Okay,
The
different job.
that
Okay.
The job that this guy was in, he had physical requirements that he had to keep, or else he lost his status.
So like
Okay.
something like he's lifting boxes over 40 pounds. You're working at a computer screen, something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
To make it simple, he's carrying firearms.
Makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was not able to continue carrying firearms due to his physical limitations involving his eyes. Okay, he was having a hard time making his qualifications and so on.
Sure.
They decided
They didn't
that
offer
would
for him to
kind-
carry a shotgun instead of a pistol. I'm
well,
sorry. That's
if you, I'm just gonna say, in the type of work that I deal with, if you carried a shotgun into anything that we were involved in, you're way underpowered. It's gonna be a bad day for you.
Oh wow, I was just making a joke. That wasn't a
Oh, I
serious
know,
comment.
and that's
Yeah.
and that's perfectly fine. So, you know, he couldn't pass his firearms quals anymore. He was having issues with his eyesight. So they were going to make him not be a part of that area that carries firearms and basically give him a desk job like I have.
Okay.
Okay. So he has never really done this job until this job became vacant. They slid him in there and they were going to try to keep it under the radar. But whenever I brought it to him that, hey, I'd like to move to that position, now they said, well, you've got to bid on it. Okay, fine. So I bid on the job. I put in my application and whatever. As I'm working overtime in said job,
Yeah, you already have it.
While this guy is out of town that's been working it, I'm in with this cubicle in this area that's very quiet, and the manager that oversees this job makes a phone call to this applicant and says, hey, we're changing up the job bid that you have to have this kind of qualifications, you have to have these kinds of experiences, and I'm calling you on behalf of the senior management telling you this because they want you to make sure you know to update your resume to reflect this. And I'm 12, 15 feet away from this guy in a cubicle in an office that's very quiet. So I hear the whole conversation.
And they don't tell you this.
No, they don't tell me this at all.
So they are changing
So-
the qualifications of the job in secret to give this other guy the job.
Yes, they did. So as this phone conversation is going on, I'm in a Skype message with the EEOC coordinator of the company that I work for, along with HR, telling him exactly what the guy is saying over the phone, exactly what time this occurred, what date and everything. And I sent it off to him, and we were talking back and forth while this is going on. Of course, when they bring it to his attention, he's like, no, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. That's not true. Okay, well, when the job bid actually came out, exactly what he said they were going to put in the job bid is exactly what's there.
So now those
And
additional things, were those things that you had limitations on and to give the other person the advantage, or?
Or they're just
Well,
padding his resume so that he has the better application.
Right. That's exactly what they're doing, because what they added to the job requirement was something that has nothing to do with the job. I can't really go into that because it's,
Sure.
some other issues,
Yeah.
but it had nothing to do with the job. Okay. There is nothing in that 14-page document that I have read probably over 10 to 12 times now that has anything to do with the job that I'm in. However, it does have to do with every single thing that it does have to do with what this guy just came from. This is what this guy does.
So they're stat padding. They're padding
Yeah,
stats.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
saying all of a
Yes.
sudden the lineman needs to be able to catch balls.
Yeah,
in
he
the-
has to be
in
an
the
eligible
backfield.
receiver
Yeah.
multiple times.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
They're casting
So-
Doctor Doom, and they're saying the actor has to have previously played Iron Man.
That's pretty much it. Yes.
Okay.
So when I further brought this up to HR and everything like that, HR tells me that, well, we can't go against what they tell us to put in the job bid because we don't know we don't know what's required and what's not. We
And that
just added
does seem
into-
fair from HR's perspective. I could see how HR.
Yeah, I can see
can't
HR.
track
They're
that.
not. They don't want to get in the middle of what the job requirements are. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. So I agree with that. I mean, based on how many people they have to deal with and how many departments they have, that makes sense. However, what I told HR was, if you're not going to know what this job requires, you shouldn't be the ones doing the interviewing then.
That's
if you don't,
a good point.
Valid point.
yeah, if you
Without
don't
saying
know-
exactly what you do, because I understand it's sensitive.
Yes.
How important is it to make sure that the type of person that gets in this job is the right person, and that the interviewers know that this is the right person?
It's vital
Okay.
because
Like we're not talking scooping ice cream here.
no, you are not.
Lives are at
You're-
stake.
Yes, and you're talking. Let's put it to you this way: it's along the same lines as a person who will be moving vital organs to hospitals
Yeah.
to save lives.
Yep.
Okay.
If you make a mistake, it can be very, very costly, and it can happen very, very fast.
And you have how many years of experience already doing this?
I have 9 years experience already doing this, 16 years total experience at this facility.
Okay.
Wow.
And this is a large company. This is a 4,000 plus employee company.
Double that.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where are you at in the process then? So you've let HR know that this happened. You've essentially transcribed the wrongful conduct, the stat padding that was happening. Where are you now?
Right. I filed with the EEOC, the United States EEOC, and the EEOC got back with me about 3 weeks later after filing, saying, "Hey, we'd like for you to go to mediation on this deal to try to mediate it. And while it's going through mediation, we're going to kind of pause our investigative process to see if you guys can work this out." That's where I'm at now. I'm waiting on a date and time of mediation.
And what is your question for us? What's the issue we can help provide some guidance or clarity on?
When you go through mediation involving the EEOC on the federal level, do they give you someone to at least kind of help you? I understand that they have to kind of play both sides of the field and kind of come to a resolution. But if you don't hire an attorney or don't get an attorney involved, are you just flying solo?
So let me jump right into that. This is the normal process that folks go through. You can bring an attorney there. You do not have to. This isn't like a court where they will appoint you a public defender or someone to help you during this process. And a large part of that reason is because, one, cost, but two, a lot of the issues are just pretty basic, right? Did you work too much overtime? Did you get discriminated against? And someone's able to articulate it. And you're actually doing an incredible job, well above average for how the type of folks and employees that have to say what the issues are. You're clearly very intelligent, quick. You're smart enough to start writing stuff
Cerebral
down.
Palsy.
Yeah, yes,
Right.
yes, exactly. And so at that stage, what we often recommend, it's not just because we're attorneys, it's because there's a lot of nuance around what does it mean to be discriminated against or to have wrongful termination. There's specific elements that go into that. And the fact that they're changing the job on you is a big problem. And in fact, one of the issues, there's a long laundry list of issues that can be an EEOC violation, a discriminatory violation. And one of those is denying a promotion in retaliation of doing a whistleblower, right? So having gone and said, hey, they violated. And what's crazy here is that you've got 2 times that this has happened. Senior management has said, don't let this happen. And yet now they're not doing the same thing again. They're doing something arguably worse. Well, you said you worked the night shift, and what is your normal shift?
3P to 4A.
Wow. So you're working until 4 a.m.
Yes.
And all you want to do is get to a normal work shift after almost a decade doing this job, and they're trying to stat pad to get some other janky who can't shoot a gun straight?
That's correct.
Wow.
And is this a unionized job? Like, will that protect him at all? No.
No.
A union would have its own bargaining process and whatnot, but it sounds like it's not. And so what I would say is that the mediation is not something you have to get a resolution
If
at.
he consents to the mediation, is he going to waive his rights to sue?
No. So if you go to the mediation and you get a resolution that's acceptable to you, you've thought about, hey, this is what I want to happen, and you get it done, then you'll write it up and that will be the end of it. If the mediation fails, so you do not reach an agreed resolution, then the EEOC will start its investigation again, and you will separately have the ability to file a lawsuit based on the underlying wrongful civil charges. So you'll be able to do both of those, but like most things, the practical side is, hey, if we can get it resolved, let's get it resolved.
Right.
I'm really interested. Do you know if the senior managers know what's going on?
Above my senior management, probably not.
Okay. And I don't know that we're going to be able to get into all the details of it here, but those senior managers who came to you and said, hey, if this is happening again, just come straight to us about the ADA violations, right? About the parking spots. If it seems to me like they are the good guys here, and if they knew that this was stat padding was happening, they would not only be upset on your behalf, but I think they'd be very concerned that a non-qualified person is being given this job, on top of the fact that a longtime loyal, incredible employee is being denied the opportunity to get the semblance of a regular working life after all these years, nearly a decade in the position. How exactly that's going to work is not exactly clear, but we do have your jurisdiction. Thank you, Josh. We can get you some folks who know this process really well. The EEOC process is not expensive. It's these facts are very clear. You've been able to communicate them and articulate them. An expert attorney in this type of wrongful retaliation or any kind of general retaliation is going to be able to deal with this very easily. Josh is really not liking it. I think he's going to want to coach you.
I like it.
Josh is going to coach you how to fucking
it's an ensemble.
Raging Bull.
It's an
Go,
ensemble.
Josh,
we
go.
have all
Let's
different types of personalities and disabilities. I'm blind in this eye. It's not as serious as some of the other stuff, but I'd need a shotgun instead of a pistol. So before the blinds try to cancel me, I am you. So Matt, what are you thinking?
I mean, I think it's a pretty much clear-cut case where it seems like your upper management has it against you. I mean, it seems like, you didn't mention anything about poor performance at work. You wouldn't have a poor performance at work if you've been there for over a decade. You're already doing the job.
That's a great point.
You're capable of doing it. I don't know what the pass is as far as getting in trouble or anything, but it just seems like they look at you as a pain in the ass with this parking situation, and they just don't want to give you a resolution. So, like, for mediation, my question is, what would you want? Like, what's the best case scenario for you moving forward? Do you want to stay with this company? Do you want that job? Like, what are you looking for?
I want the job, and I'll tell you why. I having CP, I can't serve my country in a military aspect. This is a way that I serve my country. And
dude, you're awesome, dude.
This job actually will entail less time at home with my family. It will help me out financially and stuff like that. Because what I didn't tell you was when you work Monday through Friday in this job, you're working 5 12-hour shifts a week. Wow. So you're going to work 60 hours.
And you willingly have done that, and you know all of this information. Like,
that's right.
How are you not the prime candidate for this position?
You are.
I don't know.
Wait, you are. You are the prime candidate. There's some tomfoolery that's going on here. Heidi, jump in.
Yeah, I want to go back and touch on something that Bill and Josh said earlier, and that was, this may not get resolved in mediation, and I don't want you to feel bullied in that situation to resolve it in mediation if it's not resolving the way that it needs to be resolved. So if this needs to continue forward with the EEOC, let it. Make sure that the uppers of the uppers know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to mediation, try to resolve it. But if it's not working out, I don't want you to feel cornered that you have to take whatever resolution that they're trying to throw at you.
You call us back.
Yeah.
I will.
You call us and we reach back out. We're here for the little guy.
I will say this, and I said this directly to some people that I'm friends with, that know about this situation, that are, everything. And I've already told them, and pardon my language, when all this got started, I said, they done pissed off the wrong motherfucker. And I'm going to make sure.
I knew we liked this guy.
Cousin it.
Dude, you're everything about you is what I think the American dream is. You are not making any excuses. You're working hard. You're service-minded.
He's practical.
He's practical. You're calling us, and you're not even asking like, how do I get over on my employer? No, you're like, how do I get the job, dude? Like,
yeah, he's never bitched about the amount of hours he's working.
No,
he's just like, hey, can I start earlier?
He's trying to work more.
That's it.
He's trying to work more.
Like
He's
we
doing what he
need
can.
more cousin Itts.
yeah.
What I didn't tell you was that this position is what's called non-exempt non-bargaining, which means you're paid hourly. Okay. So it falls under the FLSA. So once you get to 40 hours, you make time and a half until 52. And then once you get to 52, you make double time until the end of your work week, basically Sunday to Sunday in our case. So by not giving me this position and by not allowing me to, move over, they have basically cost me $30,000 to $35,000 a year in extra pay, because you have to work that overtime because that's part of the job. It's written in.
This to me, this is the key language, and we're going to send you some resources so that you can make an informed decision about bringing someone with you to this mediation. They usually take a couple hours, maybe a little bit longer, but here's the thing, and I can hear the passion in your voice. You want to take care of yourself and your family. This is a job you can do well. It's not just good for you, it's good for the company, and sounds like based on what you're doing, it's good for the country as well. I'm so glad that you're fighting it. Here's the phrase you want to use. You're being denied a promotion or company benefit based on your reporting of a Disability Act violation. And that right there is going to just be the absolute best red flag that you can use, and you just keep repeating that.
I reported a violation, and you're denying me a promotion.
They're actively not only see. There's two different wrongs here. Let's say they weren't stat padding. There was no blind guy with a gun. Okay, no blind guy with a gun, and they still don't give you the job. That is still retaliation.
Yeah.
This is actually a secondary wrong that doesn't really fall under the EEOC. It's actually it's taking up more of the space in the discussion, but because it is a separate business wrong. This is where I think the upper management, not your immediate manager who is clearly a fuckbag, but like the upper. Oh, are we not supposed to say that?
No, you definitely can.
It came out of left field.
Sorry. Okay, so the upper uppers are going to be responsible for when Helen Keller with a gun is now working the desk job.
Yeah.
All right, man, you crossed the line.
But he's right, though. I mean, your boss kind of seems like the dick from Horrible Bosses when Colin Farrell comes in and takes over the dad's business and just starts getting rid of everyone.
Yeah.
It's fucked. I don't like this guy. Fuck him. I mean, clearly the guy has beef with you, and instead of, settling it like a gentleman, he's literally pushing you out one by one. But what you mentioned is just keep going. Don't give up on it. Fuck this guy. You have every right to fight for this.
And you don't have to invest in a lawyer per se. You can bring a lawyer to the EEOC. We're going to pull up some of the more kind of limitations about what you can do, what you can't do, some more information about the mediation process. I actually have some video resources of like demonstrations of what can happen during an EEOC mediation just to make you feel more comfortable about the process.
Blind guy with a gun walks into your mediation.
Yes. Right. Just keep quiet like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. They can't see you if you don't move. But what you can still do, remember, is if the mediation fails, you can still sue. You can still get a lawyer at that point. And the EEOC will continue its investigation. Just like what Heidi said, don't let them bully you into a resolution that isn't what's right, because, my brother, I can tell you know what's right. Josh?
You don't like what they're offering you at the end of the day. You go, let me think about it, and then you just call us back, and we're gonna make sure that you get some justice, brother, okay?
Well, I'm going to say this. If we were able to figure it out in mediation, that's going to be their cheapest path, because if we actually go to a lawsuit, it's going to cost way more than what they ever even bargained for.
Keep that energy. Yes.
You are on point.
Hey,
okay?
This is what I tell people. I go, I got an open hand to shake your hand and do a deal with you right now, or I got a fist in the other. And that fist is going to be a lawsuit where all of these facts come out, where these multiple ADA violations come out, where the fact that you're trying to put the wrong people in this very, very important job, the lax care will all come out. You gotta say that stuff.
Tell them you talk to lawyers. You talk to lawyers, and those lawyers are ready to go. Those lawyers are hungry. They got so many jokes. They got phrases. They use.
They're not
F
only
word.
smart, they're kind of funny.
They're not only funny.
I went directly to the management's office when this occurred, when they actually moved this guy into the spot after the job bid. And I tried to work it out with him and tried to say, hey, look, what you did was wrong. And I want to understand why you did it and how you allowed it to happen and so on and so forth. And he said, that's my choice. I understood. And I said, okay. I said, if that's the position you're going with, I said, it's going to hurt you in the end. And I said, I promise you that. And I said, you will not like me when we're done. I said, you've already made me mad and I've already made you mad. So why not just jump all the way in and make it really hurt?
I love it.
Wow.
You got the fighting spirit. You're ready to go. Heidi,
So
Yeah.
any last thoughts from you?
He's got that fire. Keep it going.
I love it. Matt,
You got that big hit energy, man. I like you, bro. You got this.
He's got
Cousin
that dog.
He's got a hammer on him.
We
I guarantee
love
it.
this spirit. We love your heart and your passion. We love the practical nature. We love your wit and your intelligence. We want to keep in touch on this issue. We're going to send you some of these resources. When you do get that date, let's make sure to stay in touch. Do you feel like you were heard and got a little bit of guidance as you continue this battle forward?
yes, I there for a while, I thought, well, this case may be just kind of pointless. But after talking to numerous people and then talking to you guys, upon talking to legal experts in the area that I live in, everybody's told me, you've got some validity to this case. You need to push this. The only reason I don't have an attorney right now is because nobody actually wants to pick it up and take it. They're like, look, our books are backed up. We won't be able to really be there for you. And it's just gonna, we can't guarantee anything.
we already told you. Do your mediation. See if you like what you got. If you don't, call us back.
We're going to get you some other resources and
Yeah.
folks to talk to as well. All right, Cousin Ed, thank you for calling in today.
Thanks, everybody. It's
Thank you,
great
brother.
fun.
You have a great day.
Have a good one, man.
Bye-bye.
I mean, I'm ready to ask
love
him
him.
where he lives and drive out to wherever he is and just start punching fuckbag supervisors. What the hell?
He's that guy in your neighborhood that always protects the kids from all the bullshit.
He's
you
the
know?
one that mows the old lady's lawn
Yeah.
without asking and takes her trash
Yeah.
out and leaves her some delicious cookies.
Yeah.
I have family that has some illnesses and stuff, and like to see somebody that has a disability and is trying to work, is doing everything, and
Doesn't want to hand it to him.
doesn't ask for any handout. In fact, wants more work. Wants to work 60 hours a week.
Fuck that.
Less time with his family,
Well,
so
and-
he can provide more for
Well, his
them
family
and do a
probably, he
better
didn't
job.
say, but his family probably sucks. He's probably having to get away from his family.
That's just you,
Two
Josh.
is, you do everything right over and over. You go through the proper channels. You're checking the boxes. He's working super hard, and then it just never works out for you. I mean, he's the little guy who's trying to do right, and so
It's nice guys finish last because they were forced to park at the back of the parking lot.
Not on this show. Not on the. That's the whole reason. That's the whole reason we created
No,
this
devil's
show.
advocate. Can I jump in on that?
Yeah,
a little
devil's
bit?
advocate.
you're-
Devil's
so-
advocate.
So let's
yeah.
say I am the dickhead boss.
Yeah.
If I change the title and description of that job and the title's different than the one he already has, can I add that stuff to make sure he doesn't get the job?
Honestly, I wish you would. As a lawyer, I wish you would try to superficially change the job
So-
title and
Really?
not change the duties and not change the nature of it. That would be. You would just be like
The
incriminating
trail,
yourself.
Yeah. The cover up is worse than the crime.
My erection can only be
Yeah.
so hard.
Yeah, I mean, the
offense,
way
I'm sorry.
that folks get away with this stuff is they don't build that trail.
Yeah.
So when the first job opens, it never comes with the original title, with the original job description. It's already, instead of floor supervisor 2, it's operations manager level 3, and then they just do a bunch of synonyms through Chat GPT, and they're like, it's a different job, bruh. It's a different
But that's
job.
what I'm
But
saying.
they didn't do
like,
that
he
here.
should have done that if that's the way to get away
Yes,
with
if
it.
he wanted to get away
But
with
he
it.
didn't.
In this specific example, this company is screwed because he's literally doing the exact job already.
And been
Yeah.
doing
So
it.
not this is not theoretical qualifications. He's literally doing the exact job at the
Yeah.
exact terminal, like in
It's
the
not even a
exact hours in
promotion.
the exact
Yeah.
desk. It's a changing of paperwork for
Yeah.
for
He
for
doesn't get
financial
paid
reasons.
more on an hourly
Yeah.
basis. He just gets to work. He gets the opportunity.
Meanwhile,
to
the
work
other
more.
guy, right, this Helen Keller, as you put it, the guy over here with a gun. You know how they say we need more good. The only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Like, how do you stop a
No,
blind
it's a
guy
good gal with a gun.
with a gun? How do you stop them? You can't even threaten them. You gotta take them out. You can't a warning shot a guy.
Put a
with
bell
gun.
on his neck. Yeah.
I love that guy.
I love him too. If you liked Cousin Itt, if you think he is the salt of the earth, a true patriot, go ahead and leave a comment. If you've been in this situation or you're an employment lawyer that has experience in this area, leave your comment, leave your information. Here's the thing we found on these calls. Everyone who listens knows someone that's going through these situations. No matter how crazy or extreme it is, there's a lot of people who are going through these situations. So if you know a resource, you've got to beat on someone who can be helpful. Doesn't matter where it is or how it is. Someone is suffering through these same issues. Leave a comment, hit the like. Thanks for listening to Hardly Legal.
If you have a crazy legal story and you want to talk to some lawyers anonymously, for free, call us.
Wait, we're not getting paid?
Nothing at all. I don't know how we're going to pay for it, to be honest.